Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Christine Robinson, Mayor of West Grey, and welcome to the West Grey Council special meeting of Council. Today's date, January 15th, 2021. Today, we're using both audio and video to conduct this electronic meeting. On item 1, the call to order, all members of Council are present. We have a quorum. This meeting is being recorded and will be posted on the West Grey website, www.westgrey.com. The technology for this meeting will be managed by staff. I ask, please refrain from clicking any buttons unless you are prompted to do so. So before we begin, I would ask Lindsay Glazier, who is the administrative assistant in the clerk's department, to walk us through some of the features for the Zoom meeting software.
Thank you. So if you get disconnected at any time, you can dial 1-647-558-0588 and enter the meeting ID 898-9071-0295 to join through telephone. Members of council have been briefed on the use of various features in Zoom and will be raising their hands to speak using the green checkmark button to vote in favor of a motion or using the red X button to vote against. Each member of council will be called upon also verbally to confirm their vote for the benefit of any guest who called in rather than joined us online. If you have any technical issues during the meeting, please send me a chat message, Lindsay Glazier, during the meeting for assistance.
Thank you very much. On item 2, moment of reflection, members of council, and for those listening in, please take a quiet moment. Thank you. Item 3, declaration of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof. Members of council, is there anything to declare? All right. We are now moving on to item 4, closed session. Clerk Scharbeck, could you please read the recommendation?
Through you, Your Worship. The recommendation is that council hereby proceeds into closed session at 2:03 p.m. for the purpose of addressing a matter pertaining to a proposed acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board.
Is there a mover for this motion? I'm looking on the dashboard for a check mark. I'm not seeing any. Has any member of council indicated with a check mark that they wish to move? All right, thank you. Councillor Hamilton, are you moving this motion?
Councillor Hamilton, I move the motion.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? So I'm not seeing it on my dashboard. Interesting. Could you please raise your hand if you wish?
I'm there.
Thank you. Councillor Hutchinson, are you seconding this motion?
Yes, just lost it, but I was there. Yes, I'll second the motion.
Thank you. I will be mindful. Oh, okay. Any questions with regard to the motion at hand? Councillor Hergert.
I apologize. I'm not actually seeing our yeses and nos anymore,
Okay.
which is odd to me, but has there been a change?
So what I'm going to say is I'd like to just get through the in-camera and then I want to address that as well. So just on the motion, all those in favor to go in camera, I'm going to have to say that I'm going to call upon you verbally because I do not have that ability either. So, so I will say, I'll go around the virtual horseshoe. Councillor Townsend, are you in favor of the motion?
Madam Mayor, it appears Councillor Townsend has been dropped.
Okay, so with regard, I'm going to suggest, and I'm going to go through the clerk for this, because we not only are having, I thought it was myself having difficulty on the dashboard. It's been articulated through another member of council that they're not able to see the hands raised or the check marks. In addition to that, we do not have Councillor Townsend. He's been dropped off. I'm going to suggest we take a moment, and staff, could you please address the technology issues we are receiving? Members of council, would that be appropriate? Are you in agreement?
But don't go anywhere yet.
No, we're staying, but we're,
Okay.
I'm not asking anybody to leave. I'm just saying I'm just going to suspend any further discussion until we get the technology issue addressed.
I think from the staff end, I see Councillor Hergert's hand up. Do you see that, Rebecca? Councillor Hergert?
It's under
Um,
reactions.
And I see Lord Johnson's check mark and Mayor's check mark and Carrie's check mark and Councillor Shea's hand up. So I'm starting to see them on the bottom of your screen, or wherever it is, it says participants and it has the little people. If you click on that, does that show you the list of participants with their action beside it, a check mark or an X? Because that's when I can't see who's raising their hand. If I click on that participants, it opens a new window. Mine goes along the side. Some of you, it may go along the top. And I see everybody's list of every participant and who's got a check mark or a hand or whatever they've got.
I see Councillor Shea has his hand up. Is that a question, Councillor, or are you demonstrating use of the functions below?
Just to clarify, on my version, I upgraded recently. The raise your hand question used to be, icon used to be at the bottom of the participants. It's no longer. It's now under a tab called reactions. So it's just moved.
Okay.
Okay.
So on
Yeah.
my version, it's still the list of icons underneath the list of people's names. I guess if you've updated, it's just named differently, right?
Yeah, reactions is right beside share screen.
Perfect, thanks.
All right, so every member of council, okay, Deputy Mayor, your hand is up.
Thank you, Mayor Robinson. The issue I'm having, yes, I'm updated too to reactions, and I am clicking the check mark. It's showing on my screen, and then it drops after maybe about, well, within 10 seconds. So it's not sticking. So that's where I'm finding. Thank you.
So would it be appropriate that if you are able to utilize the dashboard and if it does stick, like for moving and seconding, would it be appropriate then to also raise your hand?
I think,
Clerk Sharback, can you suggest something?
yeah, I would suggest don't worry about the check marks. It's kind of redundant when we call on names and a vote anyway. I think if somebody wants to move or second, yeah, raise your hand, because the check marks with these updates seem to be rather fleeting, but the raise your hand keeps the hand up. So I think same as if we were in person, that might be a little bit quicker too. And sometimes when you raise your hand in the video, if you have a backdrop, it doesn't show very well. So I'm saying raise your hand, but you're probably not seeing my hand for the whole time. So the blue hand, does that just help? That let's just do it like we were in person.
Okay,
And
so you're gonna
raise that blue hand on the dashboard.
but also raise it in person. Is that what
Right.
you're-
You could, yeah. I don't know. It doesn't really matter as long as the blue hand shows or you're getting acknowledged.
Mhm. Okay, is everybody clear? And I'm glad we were able to iron that out. So Clerk Sharback, could you please read the motion at hand then?
Through you, Your Worship. The motion moved by Councillor Hamilton and seconded by Councillor Hutchinson is that we proceed in closed session for the purpose of addressing a matter to proposed acquisition or disposition of lands.
Thank you. Mayor Christine Robinson, I am in favor of this motion. Councillor Townsend,
Councillor Townsend in favor.
Councillor Hergert,
Councillor Hergert, yes.
Councillor Shea,
Councillor Shea, yes.
Deputy Mayor Hutchinson,
Deputy Mayor Hutchinson in favor.
Councillor Hamilton,
Counselor Hamilton, yes.
Councillor Hutchinson.
Councillor Hutchison in favor.
That motion does carry. So are we moving into a closed room, the boardroom session? Thank you. Clerk Sharbuck, could you please confirm that we have our members of council, all members of council, and that we have a quorum? Clerk Sharbuck? You're
Um,
muted.
Thank you. Through your worship, I see all members of council and are in attendance, as well as the CAO, planner, director of finance, and myself on the staff side of things.
Great. So on item 5, matters arising from closed session. I'd like to report that in closed session, council addressed matters pertaining to a proposed acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality and provided direction to staff. There's nothing further to report. On item number 6, adjournment. Clerk Sharbuck, could you please read the recommendation at hand?
Through your worship, the recommendation is that we do now adjourn. It's 4:05 p.m.
Is there a mover for this motion? Deputy Mayor Hutchinson, are you moving the motion?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Robinson. This is Deputy Mayor Hutchison. I will move to adjourn.
Is there a seconder for this motion? Councillor Townsend, are you seconding this motion?
Councillor Townsend, yes, I second the motion.
All those in favor, please indicate with a check mark. Those opposed, please indicate with an X mark. I will also be calling your name. If you could restate your name and how you are voting. Mayor Christine Robinson, I am in favor of this motion. Councillor Hutchinson,
Councillor Hutchison, in favor.
Councillor Hamilton,
Counselor Hamilton, yes.
Deputy Mayor Hutchinson,
Deputy Mayor Hutchinson, in favor.
Councillor Shea,
Councillor Shay, yes.
Councillor Hergert,
Counselor Hergert, yes.
Councillor Townsend,
Councillor Townsend, yes.
motion carried. We stand adjourned. Have a good weekend, members of council and staff.
See you later.